Hello, you are welcome to IDC channel. Today we'll be looking at physics as we help you prepare for Jamb. Let's look at this question. A carpenter on top of a roof 20 meters high dropped a hammer of mass 1.5 kilogram and it fell freely to the ground. The kinetic energy of the hammer just before hitting the ground is. Now I want you to understand that an object can have both kinetic and potential energy at the same time, like what we have here. At a certain velocity, kinetic energy will be equal to potential energy. And if you use the formula for potential energy, which is mass times acceleration due to gravity times height, to calculate what we have here, you are going to get 300 joules as your answer. Alright, so like I said, in this instance, kinetic energy is equal to potential energy, so you have to use this formula, mass times gravity times height. So once you bring out your parameters and multiply them together, it's going to give you 300 joules. Now let's take question 2. A man standing on a lift that is descending does not feel any weight because A, the inside of the lift is airtight, B, the lift is in vacuum, D, there is no gravitational pull on the man in the lift, D, there is no reaction from the floor of the lift. For question number 2, the right answer has to be D. Now, I want you to understand that in this situation, the gravitational pull and the weight of the man are in the same direction downward. Therefore, there is no reaction from the floor of the lift. Let's take question number 3. In question 3, an object of mass 2 kilogram moves with a velocity of 10 meters per second round a circle of radius 4 meters. Calculate the centripetal force on the object. Like you all know, centripetal force is a force acting towards the center of the circular part. And the formula for calculating centripetal force is equal to mass times velocity square over radius. If you solve this problem, we are going to get 50 Newton as our answer. All we need to do with the formula I've given you, which is mass times velocity square over radius, bring out your parameters, bring out the value for the mass, value for velocity and radius, impute them into this formula, divide by radius, and you get 50 Newton as your answer. All right? Let's go to question number 4. Question number 4. The diagrams below show the positions of a cone. The position, which can be described as neutral equilibrium, is represented, obviously this has to be Z only based on the position of this cone. So the answer is C, Z only. Question number 5. Alright, for question 5, a car moves with an initial velocity of 25 meters per second and reaches a velocity of 45 meters per second in 10 seconds. What is the acceleration of the car? Now, we need to bring out our parameters, okay? Now, bringing out our parameters, we enable us know what exact formula to use. From the question, the initial velocity here is 25 meters per second. The final velocity is 45 meters per second. And the time taken is 10 seconds. We all know that acceleration is A. Alright? So, using this formula for final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration times time. Impute our values appropriately. Alright? Final velocity is 45, initial velocity is 25, times acceleration we are looking for, times time, which is 10. Then we collect like terms, move 25, which is positive 25, over to this left-hand side. We'll now have 45 and 25 become, changes to a negative number. Subtract them, you have 20 equals to 10 times A is 10A. Divide both sides by 10 and your acceleration will give you 2 meters per second square. Let's take question 6. An object is weighed at different locations on the earth. What will be the right observation? The answer is the mass is constant while the weight varies, which is B. Okay? Now, I want you to understand that mass is a measure of quantity of matter contained in a body and is constant everywhere, while the weight is dependent on the force of gravity. Hence, it varies from place to place. Now, let's take question number 7. Question number 7. Density of the liquid, depth below the surface of the liquid, surface area of the liquid. In which of the statements above will pressure be dependent? I hope you can still remember the meaning of density, which is mass of a unit volume of a material. Okay? Now, pressure is dependent on density. Depth and the surface area of the liquid are also dependent on density. So the right answer has to be 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. All right? Okay. So let's go to question number 8. In question 8, which of the following could be effectively used to reduce friction? This is common, all right? And the right answer has to be grease, which is option B. For question 9, the surfaces of conveyor belts are made rough so as to A, prevent the load from slipping, B, protect them while carrying loads, C, make them carry more load, D, make them stronger. I think it has to be A, prevent the load from slipping. Yeah, that's correct. All right. Now for question number 10. A machine of velocity ratio 6 requires an effort of 400 Newton to raise a load of 800 Newton through 1 meter. Find the efficiency of the machine. Now, if we solve this question, our answer is going to give us 33.3%. To get the efficiency of the machine, we need to use this formula, mechanical advantage over velocity ratio. But in the question, the mechanical advantage was not given. So the first thing we need to do is to bring out our parameters. Load was given as 800 Newton, effort was given as 400, and velocity ratio was given as 6. Now, the formula for calculating mechanical advantage is load divided by effort. So the load, which is 800, divided by the effort, which is 400, will give you 2. Now that we have the mechanical advantage, using the formula for efficiency, mechanical advantage divided by velocity ratio times 100%. For mechanical advantage, we have 2. For velocity ratio, we have 6. So 2 over 6 times 100 over 1 will give us 33.3% as our answer. Question 11. A copper wire was subjected to a tensile stress of 7.7 times 10 raised to the power 7 nm square. Calculate the tensile strain of the wire. Young modulus has been given to us. Now, if we solve this question, we are going to get 7.0 times 10 raised to the power minus 4 as our answer. Now, the formula for calculating Young modulus is stress divided by strain. But here, we are meant to look for the strain. Stress has been given. Young modulus has been given. So, replace the Young modulus with the value of Young modulus given, which is this. Alright, which will give you equals to the stress which has been given, 7 point this. Alright, so make this the subject of the formula strain. Alright, if you make strain the subject of the formula, we are going to have, okay, by substitution, the Young modulus is equal to this. These are subject of the formula. You cross multiply and solve for it. You are going to get this as your answer. Alright, so that will take us to question 12. 1. Change of state. 2. Diffusion. 3. Radiation. 4. Osmosis. Which of the processes above can be explained using the kinetic theory? Well, the right answer has to be B, which is 1, 2, and 4. Reason being that radiation cannot be explained using the kinetic theory. Alright, then question number 13. The thermometric property of a constant volume thermometer is, the answer has to be C, change in pressure. Alright, now I want you to understand that thermometric property of a constant volume thermometer is change in pressure with temperature. For watching this video. In our next video, we'll be going through a lot of calculations where I'll be solving the problems on the board. Now, for those of you that have not subscribed to our channel, I want you to do so, as we are bent on helping you pass your Jamb, which is barely 2 weeks from now. I remain your humble Mr. Mark. Bye for now.